Welcome back, everyone. It's time for another exciting episode of Gift Tax Adventures. Today's topic is Form 8971.
Well, I've got my drink, Ernie, and I've loaded up on patience.
That's a perfect combo. So let's start simple. Larry, tell us what Form 8971 is used for.
Oh, Form 8971 is used to report information about property acquired from a decedent. In plain English, when someone else passes away, the estate has to tell the IRS and the beneficiaries what assets are being inherited and what the values are.
So this is basically the IRS keeping their thumb on the pulse of where the money's going, I guess. How important is Form 8971? Well, think of it this way. If there's no real estate, the estate doesn't need Schedule A, and there's a bunch of other schedules that every estate doesn't use. However, every estate return still needs a Form 8971. Why? Because every estate has beneficiaries, even when there's no beach house in Malibu.
Speaking of which, I'm really looking forward to the day that I get to inherit something along those lines.
Well, Larry, the magic 8-ball says, keep waiting. So let's get into how to complete the form. I've already prepared a file with the necessary information, so you don't have to watch me type, although that could be interesting in itself. Our first stop is page 1 of Form 706, which is up on the screen right now.
Nice.
And not every field matters for purposes of completing Form 8971, but if you're filling some of them out, you might as well fill them all out. It's convenient to do that. So you'll see that all the fields here are filled out, but probably for demonstrating 8971, I didn't really need to do all that. Next, after we've given an eyeball to this page 1 here, let's look at the beneficiary worksheet. And that's where we're going. Now, we were testing this, and so there's
a lot
of beneficiaries, right? And they all
it's like a family from the 1800s.
Right, they all have the same name. That's
it's Louis
weird.
II, Louis III, Louis IV.
Uh-huh. and so, at any rate, once I put in the beneficiaries, I would click on 8971 to send them there.
Okay.
And also nothing. That's it. I could click on form if they get more than $5,000 in as a beneficiary. You want to send them to this 706 page 2, but we're not trying to do that in this video. Let's just leave it at the fact that we've got the beneficiaries in there. We're sending them to 8971.
And don't forget to put the date in that you're planning on giving the beneficiary this form, right? This form is for them.
Oh, that's right, Larry. Right down here, Form 8971, date provided. That's the field that's used to fill out 8971. You know, it's possible the amount field is too. We'll make this a mystery, and we'll see when we look at Form 8971.
Well, so if they're not getting anything, you don't have to click that box, right? You don't check the box. No joy.
Okay, I got it.
And so
nice
they don't
input.
they don't need to get that form.
And now then, let's go. I'm going to close the beneficiary worksheet, and we're going to go to the asset debt worksheet. And I've got a bunch of stuff in there. Way more than I need, and they're all short things, one-line descriptions. And let's see here.
So now we got to choose. You're going to send one of these to a beneficiary, I assume.
Right. Put in a benefit. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's show that. We put in the description, and then the beneficiary. You pick them from the list here. Where does the list come from? It comes from the beneficiary
that
worksheet.
we were just looking at.
That's right. So I'll just leave. I don't know what it was set to. I think it was just Louis, the king of them all. And that's it. Okay, so we picked a beneficiary. We got a description in there. The interest is be 50%, 100%, whatever.
Okay.
And we're going to check Schedule A, Form 8971. That's where it's going to get sent.
Look at that.
Okay.
Perfect. So let's talk about the alternate value, 8971 date field. That's the date used for valuation. It'll show up in column G of Schedule A, line 8. Explain all that. That sounds complicated.
I think we would need to close this worksheet and display 8971 Schedule A to get a better explanation here on how that works.
Not to be confused with the 706 Schedule A. 8971 has its own schedule. It is its own form. We just provide it with our software.
Right, and the point is you want to confuse everybody, so you have two Schedule A's, and that way when you say Schedule A, nobody knows what you're talking about. If it's the 8971 or is it the 706? And but seriously, here it is. And you were asking, what did you ask, Larry, about the valuation date?
Yeah, the alternate date.
I'm assuming that we are going to find it. Oh, there it is.
Alternate value.
Okay, right. And all right. Just if we haven't confused our viewers enough, this is not the alternate valuation date. This is the valuation date for which the property was valued. Mm-hmm. And that may not, if you've got an estate that didn't elect to use the alternate value dates, it might be a different, it might be the value on date of death.
And that's usually the date of,
yeah, usually it is the date of death.
Yeah.
But
for another asset, what if you have two beneficiaries? Excuse me, you mentioned the percentage amount. Two beneficiaries share at 50-50. Do we have to make two entries, one for each, noting 50% interest?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, because you're gonna, when you're in the, let's go back. Let's go by the asset debt worksheet, and you're really going to make two entries anyway, because that's the way you would handle co-beneficiaries.
Okay.
So you'd make two entries. You'd select one for this, and
one
then
for Louis and one for his many sons.
Let's say that, Louis too.
And then you put 50% in that as well. Then.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Right.
Nice.
And where does that leave us with?
Well, that's the grand finale now. That's it when it comes to filling out the 8971. You're just pulling from the two worksheets.
And this is the star of the show, Form 8971. And it has an excessive amount of information here because of all the beneficiaries that we put in there. But
so are we looking at Schedule A or are we looking at 8971 here?
This is Schedule A. Okay, right. And this is, you see the beneficiary's name up here, Louis DeBito.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were to look at, I can go to Schedule A, and if we wanted to look at was it Millie?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. No, it's Louis DeBito too. You know what?
His son.
I have a couple texts. Yeah, let's go to page 1 if there's more than one page.
Oh, okay, there it is.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and we got that 50%. And that's it. And this $1,002, I'm trying to think of which way. Let's see where that's coming from. Right here.
Here it is. Because that's the one you assigned to him.
Right. And it's interesting to note also that percentage isn't applied against that 1,002.
Yeah, that's right.
So, because you might be thinking that, but that's not the way it works.
Right.
At least that's not the way the program works. All right. Well, hey, where are we at now?
I think that's basically it. We showed all the beneficiaries, and we showed how it would create if we need multiple pages. It would, I would assume, create more if we have more than what the initial page accepts. Right. The continuation page.
Oh, I have something to add. Don't be fooled into thinking that you've got to copy the description, a big long description. Mm-hmm. We're using one-line descriptions here. But if you have, let's say you have a big long legal description of real estate, the program is only going to fill in this much of the line. The reason that doesn't cause any confusion is because, number one, the line should at least probably uniquely identify that item in the asset worksheet, but even more so, there's a reference here in columns B and C where it's saying, hey, this item came from Schedule B and it's labeled as item number 1 on Schedule B. So again, the IRS doesn't need a big long explanation, a complete recapitulation or rewrite of what you put in the original schedule. All it needs is what the program put in there, and that's good enough.
And so Schedule A is separate from the actual 8971 form, right? And because that's for each beneficiary. So when you select that, you're going to get a dialog box. That's why you're selecting the beneficiary. And then another one that runs if it goes more than one page, because you're creating that for that beneficiary.
The only thing I was thinking is I said, oh yeah, there's the forms 8971, the king of forms or whatever, and I think actually we were looking at Schedule A and not really 8971. Here's the 8971.
Yeah, right. Okay, that makes more sense.
I goofed up on that, and you see that because you have to list all of the beneficiaries. If you've got more than 7 beneficiaries, you're going to be making a continuation page, and our program will make the continuation page for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, so if you got an estate with more than 7 bennies,
here they are.
It's going to look like this, and there'll be a page 2. In fact, in this silly one that I made up, Patty might have made this up, there's 35 beneficiaries. From an administrative standpoint, I hope you never get into that.
That's somebody who knew a lot of people.
Yeah, right.
When you're putting that information in there and going to the next form, is that a custom form, or does that go to Schedule W?
No, Schedule W covers just about everything, but not this particular form.
Okay.
In fact, at the top of Schedule W, and I don't have a good screenshot of it, but at the top of Schedule W, there's a list of schedules that it applies to, like A, B, C, D.
Well, that's it. I think that's Form 8971 in all its glory, don't you think? From the estate to the beneficiaries, this is how you leverage 8971. It's included in the software, so you don't have to go and find it and refill it out.
There you go. So all I have to say is thanking our viewers for watching. If you found this video helpful, you want to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more thrilling episodes of Forms You Never Knew You Needed. Hey, take care. Goodbye.